Welcome to episode 4 of The Streak. I'm your host, Tim McDonough, joined as always by former Defiance baseball mentor, Tom Held, current Defiance head baseball coach, Rick Reaver, and his longtime co-head coach, longtime assistant coach, Shane Coleman. And from the class of 2009, we've got Justin Hancock with us. Welcome, everyone, to episode 4, 2009. How's it going?
Good. Thanks, Tim, for having me on. I'm looking forward to, talking with you guys and reminiscing some of the old days and some of the stories. But I'm more intrigued about, listening to what you guys have to say because, when you're a player in the Defiance program, you never really know what the coaches think. And I think this is going to be a good opportunity for me to, sit back and listen and express or just see what you guys thoughts were, into the 2009 class.
You might be
So,
disappointed in our thoughts, Justin.
Rick and Tom, before you jump in here, I want to bring Shane in. Shane, Justin just made a good point. As a player, you don't know what's going on. As an assistant coach, I mean, you guys were very, very tight. Did you know what was going on?
Very rarely. No. No, we were very tight. It was a really great experience for me all those years to be part of the program, and I really appreciate the opportunity to join tonight. So yeah, I've listened to the previous episodes. It's been a great time. So looking forward to it.
I've said for years, if anyone came out and watched us practice, they'd wonder how in the world we ever won, with what was going on at those practices. And the other thing, before we get going, I need to apologize. Wes Douglas has been harassing me for 3 weeks about getting a background here, and I promised him I'd have it this week, and you can see I failed. So, Wes, next week, I promise.
Tom, before we jump in here, I want to read a quote that you told me when we sat down to talk about the preview article. So, this 2009 class had 4 seniors. Along with Justin, there was Mark Sebring, Craig Gutman, and Stephen Leskow. And you said, and I quote, on paper, this looks like a year that could be difficult for us to be at the top of the Western Buckeye League and make a run in the tournament. When you hear those words and you think about this season, what I mean, first of all, do you remember anything about us meeting ahead of time before the season, and what goes through your mind when you hear that?
Oh, I remember vividly because you always came to the bookstore. We sat in the
Yes.
bookstore ninth period. So
Yeah.
I remember those. Yes, absolutely. We were sandbagging. See, that was just a sandbag comment right there. We knew we were going to be pretty good. We knew we had a pretty good 1-2 back, but Justin, obviously we'll get into that more about the previous summer of getting injured and coming back from that. But Tim, let's hear from Shane and Justin, their path since Justin since he left high school, and Shane since he left left coaching at Defiance. So
Yeah, Justin, let people know what you've been up to since you graduated in '09.
take us through from high school on.
I got the privilege to play college baseball at the junior college level, and I think obviously you guys for helping me out with that, and it was a good 2 years. It was a good 2 years because I grew up a lot, as a person, as an individual, and I was good around good people, at Lincoln Trail, and it came full circle at the end of it too. After I ended up playing for 10 years, I played for the Padres for 7 years, and then the Cubs for the rest of the time, and then obviously and then in Japan my last year. But after that I got done playing, I was actually a college coach for 3 years, it was Mitch Hannis, and that kind of brought me on. And Mitch was my junior college coach at Lincoln Trail. And obviously we stayed in contact, throughout that time when I played professional baseball. And my wife is from Terre Haute, Indiana, and that's kind of where Indiana State is. And every year I'd come back, and that's where I kind of trained. Was at Indiana State. That's where I threw. That's where I lifted. And so, like I said, I was around the program. I was around Mitch. And like I said, when you get into pro ball, you got to grow up real quick as a person, as a player. There's a lot of quick learning that kind of goes into it as a professional, because if you want to adapt, in that climate, you got to find a way to survive. And I did. I was one of the lucky ones that survived, and I played in the big leagues, and I got the opportunity to do that. And like I said, I got the opportunity to coach, and coaching made me grow up too, as a person, as a player, um, or not a player, but just there's a lot of hats you got to wear on that in the coaching uh, landscape. And like I said, I was lucky enough to do that, and now I'm actually an advisor and I'm an agent with the firm that I was with when I was a player with KHG Sports Management. And that's another thing, what you guys helped me with. We tell the story, and Tom Bell could probably tell it a little bit better. We met at his kitchen table after my second year in junior college with Ryan Mooney and Josh Knipp, and go to find out those guys are some of some of my best friends now. Those guys are some of my mentors, and Josh Knipp is, he runs KHG, and he was lucky enough to bring me on here. Like I said, it's been a fun ride all together, and I'm just happy to be on here with you guys and talk. The past 15 years, 16 years, I don't even know what it is anymore, but I'm just happy that I found good people and good mentors along the way.
That's great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, not many
Yeah.
people know this, but Justin's also my agent. So if anyone wants to hire me or anything, you need to reach out to Justin.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, have your people talk to his people. Yes.
He is my people.
Yeah. Shane, how about you? What have you been up to since you stopped coaching at Defiance?
Oh, not much, Tim. Haven't been too busy at all. No, Justin's making me feel old throwing out 15 and 16 years there. That's one thing I've realized as I've watched these episodes. It's like, man, that was a long time ago. But no, I started with Defiance in 2002. I think I left officially probably towards the end of 2015. In 2014, I took a new job, city manager in Dolphus, Ohio. So I tried to stay with coaching as long as I could. That first year, I was able to make it on a pretty regular basis, but ultimately found out that that just was not going to work. And so I spent almost 8 years in Delphus. I left from there. I went over to be the executive director of the Lima-Allen County Regional Planning Commission in Lima. And a few short years later, the mayor of Lima came calling, and now I have been her chief of staff for the past 3 years. So I spent the past 11-ish years or whatever it is now, really working in various city leadership roles. So I really enjoyed it. I would say I miss coaching insofar as I miss the people. I don't necessarily miss the grind. Unbelievably, as much as I love the game, I don't really miss the games either. But I do miss the people. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You got an important job.
I don't know about that. But it keeps me busy. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
just
great.
to add a little bit to Shane's thing, I remember he took his first, I don't know if it's his first college class, but he was at Defiance and started on his associate degree, right, Shane? When you're in,
Yeah, shortly before that, yeah.
right
Yep.
before that.
Yep.
So he evolved, watching get his associate, bachelor, master, and now he is Dr. Coleman.
Dr. Coleman, very nice.
Yes, congrats.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. Finished that up about a year and a half ago now. So yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So we might not be qualified to be on here.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Coach Held certainly isn't. I can tell you that much.
I can't even spell doctor.
I'm there with you.
All right, guys, let's jump into this season. So, Tom, again, kind of heading into the season, you said you were sandbagging. What do you remember about this group of seniors and how this season kind of came together before we get into the WBL games?
Well, we had 4 seniors, 09, and 3 of them coming back that all started as juniors. So we had, obviously, Justin was a pitcher for us and also an infielder in 08. We had Mark Sebring end up being our starting catcher the second half of the year in 08. And then Craig Gutman had started actually for 2 years. He had started as a sophomore for us in 07 and a junior in 08 in the outfield. He actually played kind of a little everywhere his sophomore year and basically settled into the outfield his junior year. And then And then we had Stephen Leskow, who hadn't been in the program. He'd actually had left the program early in his career and asked if he could come out. And I remember, Rick, you might be able to tell that story about him coming up and asked. I think he came up and said, "Hey, can I go out? Why don't you finish that story?"
Yeah, it was. I was actually grocery shopping at Kroger. He worked at Kroger, and he came up to me and said, "Coach, could I come out for the team this year?" And I think it was late fall, and I said, "I'm going to be honest with you, Stephen. You know, you haven't played for 3 years. Joining the program as a senior, probably not realistic. Said if you want to come out, winter workouts, and give it a go, feel free. But I said, chances are you're probably not going to make the team." And he came out and he busted his butt and was very talented. And I mean, not only did he make the team, but he ended up playing a big role for us that year.
Yeah, he ended up starting quite a few games in the outfield. Yeah. He pitched for us 2 or 3 games, and he went on to Defiance College and pitched at Defiance College for 4 years and had a pretty decent career and got a college degree. So what a success story that was.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you guys want to hop into the games, or is there anything else you guys want to say about this class?
I had a little more about 09 going. I guess I didn't really finish. I kind of stopped that. Go ahead, Rick, from what you remember.
No, I was just going to, I was going to say when you talked about Tom's comment earlier, I thought you were going to say when he sat him down and talked to him and, you know, mentioned how if there was still talent there and if they worked hard, you never know what could happen. But if they did work hard and came together, then the ceiling was going to be the limit for this team. And
yeah, I cut all that out, Rick. You got to create the drama,
right? And I remember when he said, "That's right, boys, the ceiling's the limit." Sugar and I looked at each other and tried to hold our laughter in, like, really? That's it? The ceiling? That's the limit of this team?
We didn't have anybody had any ups that year. I knew we had a chance.
All right, guys, let's hop into it. Let's get going. April 9th at home against Salina. You guys open the WBL season with a 5-0 win. Winning pitcher Dace Kime, 7 innings, threw a no-hitter, no runs, no walks, 14 Ks. That's a pretty strong start to the season for him. The losing pitcher that day was a kid by the name of Darren Waterman.
Yeah, of course we get Darren Waterman. Right?
Yeah, the same Darren Waterman that you had lost to in the districts the year before. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, 5 walks, 5 Ks. You guys scored a run in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fifth. Alex Knopfstiger, 2 for 2, 2 runs, RBI double in the first. Craig Gutman, 1 for 2 with 2 runs. We were talking off before we started recording, and I said to Tom, I said, you know, looking at the stats, there was some big numbers put up by some guys, and Craig Gutman had a pretty good year. Looks like he and Dace got off to a pretty good start right from the beginning. Justin, I'm gonna start with you. I mean, I don't know if you remember this game or not, but coming in, you guys had won 23 straight. That's the 24th win in a row in the Western Buckeye League. What, if anything, do you remember about that game? And I've been asking everyone else this too. Did you guys know what was going on with any sort of streak?
I think at that time, you know, everybody knew what was kind of going on just a little bit, you know, but they didn't know how far it was going to go, in my opinion. So, like I said, and plus, you know, the team that we had, I think there's a lot of youth there, what it sounded like, and you know, if there was some inexperience there too. But you know, at the end of the day, like, Defiance baseball found a way to win. At the end of it, I mean, you could go back, you know, a long time to when Tombo and Rick, you know, coached, and I mean, that's what they were built off of. You know, is finding a way to win. Basically, and Craig was a big piece in my opinion. You know, throughout those years that he played, you know, he was a good player. You know, I wish he would have went on and played collegiate league, because I think he would have had a good college career too. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, some people choose different paths, but you know, I think he would have been a really good player.
Craig had a tremendous senior year. Offensively, I don't have his numbers right in front of me, but I know offensively he put up some big time numbers his senior year.
Yeah, he was good on the
So-
field too, and he played
He
with a
was.
chip on his shoulder.
He was
Yeah.
one of those ball hawks. Like played second, and if the ball was in the air, Craig was getting it.
Yeah, he's
Craig
like
was
tackling
going
it
after
too.
it.
He's gonna tackle it.
Yeah. He was the
Don't
he
be
was-
the first baseman or right fielder convergent on him because he's running you over to get the ball.
Oh
he
yeah,
did. He
Yeah.
was a typical backyard baseball. Like he went after every ball. Like he probably played $5. Now nobody young knows what $5 is, but we grew up playing $5 and throwing fly balls and push people over to catch the ball, and that was gut. Like he wanted to catch every ball. He went hard all the time. And same thing in basketball and same thing in football. He had no fear. But he had some good numbers. You want to know his numbers? Tim, you got the numbers? I got the numbers here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I mean, he had 495 his senior year.
Jesus.
46 runs scored, 32 RBIs, 926 slugging percentage. Hit 7 home runs. What was gut? 5'9", 5'8"?
Yeah.
Stole 15 bases. And once again, he was defensively, you could put him anywhere.
Yeah. He had a tremendous senior year. Really good.
Oh.
Really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
good player.
Does anybody remember, obviously, the year before you had lost to Darren Waterman in the district semis at Archbold? You guys scored 5 off of him to start the WBL season that next year. I mean, what do you guys remember about him and getting that win after that loss?
This Dace character seems like he could be pretty good for us. Is that true?
Dace?
Yeah. He might be good for us someday, right?
That name keeps coming up.
It really does.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a meeting. Maybe we'll get to meet this
remember
guy.
him.
Maybe next week we'll meet this guy. I don't know.
I've been wanting to for years.
Shane, how about you? You want to jump in here? Anything stand out to you about that opening win?
Tim, as we mentioned before, I don't really remember a lot of that, but so no, I don't have a lot.
I have to ask you, of course.
Sure, sure.
Okay, guys, moving on.
This Dace guy though must have had one heck of a catching coach.
You see, now we're going to have to hear that story, Shane. All right, so April 17th, game number 2 at Wapakoneta. You guys won 7-1. That Dace Kime kid, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 10 Ks. You guys scored all 7 runs in the 4th inning. You guys had 6 hits in that inning. Craig Gutman, triple, single, in the inning with 2 RBI in that 1 inning, finished 2 for 4. Alex Knopfstiger 2 for 3, Corbin Steichman 2 for 3 in that win. Now I know we talked a little bit about it, about how around this time Shawnee was kind of the big kind of game at that time,
Yeah.
but Wapakoneta was no slouch. Yeah,
No.
But go ahead, Rick.
No, they weren't, and we've said it each week. I think if you looked at all the 27 years, they probably played us the toughest, and even it's kind of funny in talking, doing this and not really knowing who's watching this or whatever. And we said last week we're kind of doing it for our own self, and if other people watch, great. But even this morning, Coach Brandt texted me and said, "Hey, are you guys going to make fun of me again on this week's podcast?" And I said, "Well, actually, we haven't recorded it yet because Coach Held was stranded in Florida. Miraculously, he has to stay an extra day." So,
Miraculously.
yeah, right. But I bet you I had 7 or 8 texts today about the episodes. Like, "Hey, when's it coming out?" And I had to tell people that it's delayed a day. So that's kind of neat that people are listening and are liking this.
Yeah. Tom, anything stands out to you about beating Wapak again on the road?
It just gets to be, about like the last 2 or 3 years, been pretty easy wins, I think, up against Wapak. Right, Coach Brandt? So maybe the time they're going to get us, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be next year. I don't think so, though. But I do know they get
think
us.
it's coming up.
I know eventually they do get us.
They're going to bite us one of these times.
Spoiler alert. How about Justin? How about you? What do you remember about those games against Wapakoneta?
I just remember this Craig Gutman kid keeps showing up. That's what I remember. I don't know why he's not on here.
He claimed he had to work. He actually
Craig,
messaged me.
come on.
I know.
I got a question for Justin and Sugar. Like during this time, who did you think were the best teams in the league? Like the 07, 08, they kind of thought Elida and Shawnee were the better teams. Who do you guys remember as the better teams at this era? I mean, Wopak was good, but what do you guys remember?
I
Like as
remember
players.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I remember Shawnee was pretty good. I remember Salina was always pretty good. There was always one or two, pitchers that you had to beat in the league. And if they had the pitchers, I just remember Salina had obviously Waterman. And then Shawnee had is it Kopech?
Kopelchek.
Kopelchek. Yeah, he was a
Yep.
good pitcher too. So, I mean, I think those are at the time that I was there, I think those are the guys that you knew who you had coming in and you had to beat.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we all obviously know the pitchers that Defiance has had over the years, but I think there was always one or two really good pitchers in the WBL. And those were always going to be those tough games. But to answer Tom's question, I think at this point, I think it was Shawnee, Salina, Elida. I mean, those were really solid programs, had really good coaching at the time. But yeah, I think at this particular year, that's who I would say were the top teams.
All right, so moving on. Game 3, April 24th at Van Wert. Obviously, we have to talk about what happens after those games. I don't know if you've been watching, Shane, but we've been talking about you. You guys won 8-1. Still haven't lost to them yet, Rick, to move to 3-0 in the league.
We have not.
Dace Kime, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 16 Ks. Defiance had 12 hits, scored 2 in the first, 5 in the second, and 1 in the seventh. Craig Gutman, there's that name again, 2 for 3, 2 runs. Alex Nossiger, 3 for 4, 2 runs, 3 RBI with a home run. Dace Kime, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, double home run. Justin Hancock, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, home run. And Steven Leskow, 1 for 4 with a triple.
I hit a home run.
You hit a home run, yeah.
You did.
You sure that's right?
The wind must have been blowing out that day.
Yeah, see, there we go.
I think
I would have
dead center.
I would have lost a lot of money if we said who hit a homer in that game, and I would have never bet on Justin.
No, come on.
Justin,
I was $1.30, I think.
you were.
Exactly.
That's not far off. Maybe $1.35.
Oh,
6-1,
yeah.
135.
You could go yard now.
Oh, 100%.
I'd bet on you now.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about that Van Wert game is showing up and walking up to the field and seeing what a beautiful facility the guy who was taking care of that field at that time was. I mean, it was immaculate. The lines were perfectly striped. It was groomed perfectly. The mounds were perfectly sloped. And who was that guy? You guys remember who that guy was taking care of the Van Wert?
I don't know if that is the case, but we tried. Spent a lot of years in Van Wert working on that field. So
Yes, you did.
They knew who was coming to town.
That's right. Absolutely. I got accused of that quite a bit, actually, of taking extra good care of it when Defiance was coming to town. Why wouldn't I, right?
Patting the poles, right?
Absolutely. You never know what's going to happen over there.
You never know who's going to run into him. Justin, do you remember Coach Coleman's mom, Sloppy Joe's?
So that's been talked about a lot, Shane. Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, I know. I've watched every episode. I was a little miffed that my mom got mentioned before I did. He's more popular than I am.
I remember the Sloppy Joes. They were very good.
Oh, man. They were.
I have yet to pass the word to her. I'm going to have to do that. She'll get a kick out.
Shane, how did that get started? Was that something that she just said she wanted to do? Was it your suggestion? I mean, please elaborate.
I probably drafted her for that, but she was always known for her Sloppy Joes. So she loved every minute of it. Yep. It was not a big deal to her, but she enjoyed doing it.
I'm sure Van Wert, the baseball team, loved that they lose to us and then watch us go into their storage shed and eat all the food out of it.
That just makes it even better, doesn't it?
Right.
Those Sloppy Joes.
Can we have some? No, keep moving. Go home.
The Sloppy Joes were already good, but that made it even better.
Yeah. Well, God, no, if we would have lost, Tom wouldn't have let us eat. They would have all went to waste. On the bus and no talking until we get home. That's why we never lost. They were all afraid of them, having to go back home and practice afterwards.
Hey, there has to be some expectation.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Game 4 at home against Kenton. You guys won 5-1 to move to 4-0 in the league. Winning pitcher Justin Hancock, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 11 Ks. You guys scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the fifth. Alex Nossiger, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, a home run. Dace Kime, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs and a double. Mark Sebring, 1 for 2, 2 runs and a double. You guys just seem like you guys just were doing what you guys do, hitting the ball and the pitchers going the distance, double-digit Ks. I mean, I know it's Kenton and you've never lost to him, right, Rick? Knock on wood.
No, he's going to jinx us.
Yeah. Do you remember taking the mound for that one, Justin?
Tell you the truth, no. Oh, it's. I mean, I just enjoy reading about it. Tell you the truth, all the articles that you guys sent over. It's been awesome to look back at and just be mentioned and tell you the truth. Because obviously, I came a long way from my time as a freshman all the way to my senior year. So, like I said, I was just happy to take the ball. When you guys called my name and try to throw strikes at the time.
Well, it got a little hairy in the seventh. Want to hear how it ended?
Yes.
So Jaycock had a shutout going into the seventh, 5-0. And they end up scoring a run and have the bases loaded, 1 out, 5-1, bases loaded, 1 out. And it's a 3-6-1 double play to end the game. It says, great defensive play in the seventh. They threw a strike to Corbin, who turned it and got it back to Justin. They were threatened, but that closed it out on that one. So 3-6-1 on it. You throw that thing. Think about it, that's a tough play, 3-6-1.
Heck yeah.
Really tough play.
And Dace could have thrown that thing into left field or whatever, and who knows what happened. So, you talk about everybody thinks wins are easy, but a lot of them come down to a play here and there, and it could have been totally different.
We certainly had a lot of close ones.
Yes, we did.
A lot of close ones. I thought you were going to say we brought in Bernie in the seventh, and that's why it got close.
Bernie did not come in the seventh. Bernie was at Otterbein at that time.
Oh, that's right. that was 2 years earlier.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, guys, moving on. Game 5. This was a close one. At home against OG, you guys won 3-2. You guys scored 1 in the first, fell behind 2-1 in the fourth, tied it in the fifth, and then walked it off in the seventh. Winning pitcher, Dace Kime, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 12 Ks. Gutman, 2 for 4, double, and his double tied the game. Alex Nossiger, 1 for 3, triple, tied it. Okay, yeah, you guys scored 1. So, well, I my notes are all messed up here. Dace 1 for 2 with the double. Bottom of the seventh, 1 out. Ryan Cordray hit by a pitch. Aaron Helen pinch hit, safe on an error. Cordray to second. Craig Gutman double to left field. Cordray scores the winning run. You guys walk him off 3-2. There's another close shave in the Western Buckeye League there.
There is, and I would throw OG up there with when Shane talked about Elida and Salina and Shawnee. I thought OG played us as tough as anyone back then. They had some really good teams. I know my first year there, they beat us, and obviously that's not part of this streak, but that doesn't surprise me, a close game with them. They've always played us tough.
Yeah, especially down there. We had some tough games down there. What's crazy about that? So I did the preseason thing. Did say it was asked. I think Timmy asked who he thought the favorites were. I thought Shawnee, Walpock, and OG were the favorites that we thought would be the favorites to win the league that year. And the guy, I don't know. I was just looking who pitched. Remember Trent Hahn? He started. He was like a He was like a 6'6" guy with a good arm, man. If I remember,
OG had some arms back then.
Always had athletes.
They had a guy. I remember they had the one guy. It was a 88 to 90 guy. I don't know if it was 09, but it was in that era. They've always had players.
Justin or Shane, anything you guys want to add about playing
I
against
remember.
OG?
I remember Trent. I actually played again with him. I think on the Lima Locos.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, or yeah, one of the travel teams or something back in the day. But no, I remember because he was he's tall. He had he's redheaded, I believe,
I
too.
think.
Yeah. So no, he's a good pitcher. I remember. He had a good arm on him.
And
Shane,
then
anything
Ryan,
you
you
want
mentioned Ryan Cordray. Ryan was a sophomore that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another fact on that day, that was the second game of a doubleheader. Do you guys remember who we played first before the league game?
I don't even remember playing the doubleheader. So no.
I don't either.
We played
That was on a
Paulding?
on
I was gonna say,
Saturday.
I think it was Paulding.
We played
Oh, wow.
Paulding. Yep, we
Oh,
played
okay.
Paulding on that.
No.
On that before them, it's probably one of those deals to get another game in, and so
We've done that. We've
because
done that
we've
more
done
than
that a few
once.
times. Have a non-conference game and play a league game after it, or vice versa, so we can get our
Yeah.
games in. So
I don't know what year it was. I remember we played Lima Central Catholic and then went over and played Lima Shawnee in a league game on a Saturday.
yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Well,
But I don't know what year that was.
So the game before Kenton was May 1st, so this game was May 2nd. So obviously it was probably a
Oh,
makeup,
geez.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Friday,
so
Saturday,
back to back.
3
Yeah,
games. Yeah.
yeah, back to
Do it.
back. All right, guys, here we are. Game 6 versus Elida at home. You guys won 8-0. Winning pitcher Justin Hancock. Oh, in 6 innings, by the way. Justin Hancock 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't in 6 innings. You went 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Scored 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, 13 hits. Craig Gutman, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBI double. Alex Nofziger, 3 for 4, 2 runs. Dace Kime, 3 for 4, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, 2 2-run homers. Aaron Helen, 3 for 3 with 2 runs. You guys got the bats out that day. Played a little bit of long ball, and that was 3 days after beating OG, and this was at home against Elida. Any thoughts on this one, guys? I mean, that you guys put up a lot of hits per game. I wonder what the average was. It's
I remember we were
pretty
pretty good
impressive.
offensively. I didn't remember this good. Obviously I remembered Craig. Craig had a phenomenal year out of the leadoff spot. One thing I remember about Craig, he was a very temperamental kid. If he got out his first time, he was probably going 0 for 4 because he was so pissed of getting out the first time. But if he got a hit his first at bat, he was going 4 for 4 because he was locked in. But man, he could hit. He could hit.
Yeah, I mean him and Nafi hit 477 on the season, and Aaron Helen hit 368. He's a guy that won a job halfway through, and had a great at the bottom of the order. Really did stuff for us. We hit 337 as a team that year. Outscored our opponents 211-48.
Oh wow.
How many stolen bases?
Justin.
Huh?
How many stolen bases did you guys have?
That was a down year.
Was it?
We only stole 79. We only sold 79
Wow.
bases that year.
2010, I bet we stole a ton.
Yeah,
But 79 we didn't.
We did that. Justin, who was our 3?
Starter?
Yeah, I mean, Dace and you. Who would have been our 3rd? Who was our number 3?
Nafi.
Nafi was in there.
Nafi threw 18 innings his junior year. Corbin threw 17 innings.
Corby.
And Steven Leskow threw 13 innings. So basically, Justin and Dace threw every game.
Yeah.
Justin was finished 8-2 with a 1.3 ERA, and Dace finished 9-0 with a 0.7 ERA.
Justin, that's probably why you broke your arm. We threw you too much.
No. I grew about 6 inches my junior year,
right?
Going through my junior year, so that was probably part of it.
Sprouted up.
Yeah.
No, the junior summers when Justin broke his arm the first game of Acme, and I'll never forget. I'm in the dugout, and Mark Sebring comes running down and said, "Justin just blew out his arm. I'm going, what? Warming up in the bullpen? I walk out, and Justin's walking with this hanging on his arm. I go, did you blow out your arm? And he goes, no, I think I broke it. And I go, what? And I go, let's go. We're going to the emergency room. And the first thing I thought when he broke his arm, Dave Dravecki, who and the big leagues broke his, and he ended up having bone cancer. And so we took Justin to the hospital, and then it ended up being a clean break. They did all the tests, make sure his bones were fine. And his bottom line is he grew so stinking fast. You know, I mean, usually your I don't know, ligaments are too strong. Hell, they were too strong for his damn bones. But then he bounced back. I remember he recovered, and that's fall. You were back throwing 90. Remember, like in September, yeah, he was like, and then he worked his tail off all winter.
Well, what I remember,
then he had the allergic. I had to give him an EpiPen.
I had a lot of stuff going wrong.
Oh my God! In the spring, we had
9 months.
Oh, we had pizza, and Justin had a bout. Then you had a couple bouts with eating, had allergic reaction.
I'm not sure what it was, and yeah, it was some type of I don't know, it was a sausage or spice or something that just I don't know what it was. You know, my lips would always swell up during class for no reason, and it was a weird year. You know, basically of me trying to track what I was going to eat and whatnot. So it was very weird. I don't know if it was a cause of me growing too much or whatnot, and my body changing in different ways. But no, it was weird. And going back to me breaking my bone, it was a freak injury, to tell you the truth. And I was lucky enough that it was a spiral fracture and no ligaments were basically damaged in the process. And going back to it, the only thing that I had to wear was just a brace. I could take it on and off when I was taking a shower. There was nothing supporting that. And I was healed up in probably about, what would you say, like 6 months, I'd say.
Oh, no, less than that.
I think you were thrown. I bet you it was 3.
Yeah, 3 months.
When we made that pitching video, you were coming back.
Yeah,
I just August or September. Yeah,
I remember going out to fall throwing when you got cleared, and you were just kind of throwing, and Coach Held's like, "Cut loose," and you're like, "No," and he's like, "Cut loose," and you're like, "I can't," and he's like, "The doctor cleared you. Cut loose." You're like, no, "I'm afraid. I'm afraid."
Oh man,
and he's like, "What's the worst? What can happen?" And you're like, "I'm gonna break it again."
Oh
and
man,
you two argued back and forth for 2 minutes, and finally, I think you got tired of listening to him. And you just chucked one, and you're like, "Oh, I think I'm fine."
No, I was scared. I was really scared to cut loose, and just because there's a lot of things that at that time that were unproven. In a medical field, the doctor that put the cast on basically told me that I'd never be able to throw as hard as I could ever, and that was always in the back of my mind, to tell you the truth, and go to find out, I ended up throwing 100 one day.
Yes, you did.
Imagine how hard you'd thrown if you wouldn't have broke your arm then.
Yeah, you never know.
Records.
Amazing. But I want to tell one story about his EpiPen. So he had an allergic reaction, and we had got done eating pizza, and he starts like, "Oh, I feel it coming. I go, all right, get in the car. We got to go to the emergency room again." So we get in the car, and he's going, and I go, "Where's the EpiPen?" Like, you can tell he's starting to swell up. I'm thinking, like, what's going on? And he pulls it out, and he's got to jam his leg. And I said, "Do it." And he goes, "I can't." I said, "Come on, do it." I can't. I said, "Hurry up and do it, or I'm going to do it." And then he went, and jabbed that leg. And then we got to the hospital. We took him in, and oh my God, that scared me way more than the broken arm.
Well, what scared me was pulling it out of my leg and seeing how big the needle was.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that's wild. You guys knew how to have fun back in the day. All right, so here's the one I've been waiting to talk about. May 9th at Shawnee. You guys won 2-1. Lima Shawnee, they fell to 5-2 in the leagues. That was obviously a big one for them. You guys both would have been 6-1 had they won that game. Winning pitcher, Dace Kime, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 10 Ks. The losing pitcher, Cody Kopelchek, lefty, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, struck out 14. Went on to play at Wright State University. So Shawnee struck first with 1 in the first. You guys came back and scored 1 in the Let's see. Oh, they left 3 on base in the first. Black walk, Spencer safe on air, Black to second, Roberts RBI single. Black scores. Shawnee left 3 on base. Oh, so let's see. You started off. What inning is this? I can't read my writing. Justin Hancock single.
First
Corbin
inning.
Steichman. Is it first?
Yeah, we scored one
You
in the
got-
top. They scored one in the bottom.
Okay.
Well, how was Justin
Oh,
won our lead off?
gotcha. Oh, so no, I'm sorry. Gutman in the first. Craig doubled to lead off the game. Nafi with a sack bunt. Gutman to third. Keim RBI ground out to second. They scored in the first to tie it. And then you guys took the 2-1 lead in the seventh. Justin Hancock single. Corbin Steichman walk. Justin moves to second. Jacob Mosier safe on an error, and you scored. So the error led to the winning run.
I
And
guess
then
he
in the
was bunting.
yeah, bottom of the
Yep.
yeah, bottom of the second, Shawnee left 2 on base, and that, like I said, it was their second loss in league play. So score two, 1 each in the first, and then 1 in the seventh, and error leads to the winning run. Do you guys remember this game at all? If I'm not mistaken, I think this game was on a Saturday, wasn't it?
That's
I
too
don't
far
remember
back.
that.
Makes sense because May 2nd was when we played the doubleheader with Paulding and OG, and this
Yeah.
was May 9th. So
Yeah.
must have been. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But
Well, it has to be. There's 7 days in a week. I can do that math.
I mean, I'll give Coach Brand a shout out now. Finally, we finally can give him a really good shout out. They had upset Shawnee that week, knocked them off to give them their first loss. And so we thought we were going to go in both of us undefeated in that game, but like they were still in the hunt. If they knock us off that game, they still can get a share of the title. But
You mentioned Roberts. Roberts was he their third baseman? He was pretty good. I remember him.
Yeah, he was a little short little guy. Wasn't he? Was scrappy.
Yeah, very scrappy. He could swing it. Obviously, Cody from the left side was really good. Yeah.
They were good.
They were really good back then.
Well, you said if Craig can get going early, he leads off the game with a double, and then
How many hits did he have?
you guys only had
We only had three.
only had 3 hits in the entire game. He struck out 14. Koppelcheck
Yeah.
did. So
He was good.
Ace got out of that bases loaded jam in the first inning with 1 out, but only giving up 1 run. So
yeah, that's a big win right there to go to 7-0 in the league.
that was probably one of those games where Coach Coleman was walking back and forth on our decision making. He'd go talk to Rick, then he'd come back and talk to me, then he'd go back and talk to Rick.
Coach Held wants to know if you want to hit her. I'll tell him when I want to hit her. And then he'd mosey on back. He'll tell you when he wants to hit her.
Shane, jump in here.
That is accurate. That is accurate. That was a buffer between the two. Yeah.
I mentioned last episode, Sugar. I don't know if people know. It's like Tom and I rarely ever talk during the game. I mean, you were the go. I'd talk to you. He'd talk to you. Tom and I rarely talked. I don't know why, but
yeah, no, that's true. That's
did.
true. I sat by Tom every game, and he was supposed to worry about the pitchers, and I was supposed to worry about the catchers. But I always felt like it was vice versa. He was always asking, "What's he doing about the catcher?" I'm like, "I don't know what your pitcher doing, right?" But
yeah. He wasn't worried about the catchers. He was just mad at the catchers.
Yeah.
Dylan.
Good times.
That's what we teach, not the block. Let it get back there. That's exactly how you teach it, right?
Yeah. What do you remember about your time when you were coming up, Justin, and seeing these guys on the bench when the other team was up?
I think half the time I just remember those guys dressing up in coats and gloves and hats, and us freezing our hats off. I just remember that. But no, they were always a good voice in the dugout. You know, they always kept us in line, and we all had to. There's jobs that we all had to do. So I think that's just it was part of it, and I think they did a good job.
Wow,
thanks, Justin.
That's some nice words for these guys.
Appreciate the kind words, Justin.
Yeah.
Wait till we go off the air.
Yeah, exactly. We can talk for real. All right, guys. Game 8, May 12th at Bath, won 12-1 in 5 innings. Winning pitcher Justin Hancock, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Defiance finished with 14 hits, scored 2 in the first, 9 in the third, and 1 in the fifth. Craig Gutman, 3 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles. Alex Nossiger, 3 for 3, 3 runs, 2 RBI, looks like 3 stolen bases. Dace Kime, 1 for 3, 2 runs, 2 RBI double. Mark Sebring, 2 for 2, 3 RBI, and Ryan Cordray, 2 for 2. You guys put it on him.
Yeah, I don't remember. Was Bath pretty good? What was their record back then?
They were 500, but Bath was always solid. So they never had bad years, it seems like, ever, where they were an automatic W.
They had a good pitcher too, didn't they? No?
But yeah, Sterling, but
They
I
all
don't know
run
what
together.
year.
I don't know if
I
he
don't
was
know if he
graduated.
was.
I think he
I don't know if he graduated 8 or. I mean, you probably remember him because you would have played against him, but I don't know if he graduated your year.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember.
Well, this was
Sterling.
probably the part of the year too where the tournament was going on while the WBL games are going on, because this was May 12th and the tournament had probably started by then.
Yeah,
That would be my guess.
and that was, and in all honesty, that's where really we had a big advantage back then when tournaments started and you're still playing league, because our twos were usually as good as most teams one. So, they're using their ones in the tournament and having their 2, and that's a big drop off for a lot of schools. For us, we felt just as confident with our 2s than we did our 1s.
Yep.
What was Justin's record that year, Tom?
8-2, 9-2, with a 1-2, 8-2 with a 1-3 ERA.
So you were responsible for half the losses, Justin, just so you know.
Sorry, guys.
We forgive you.
Justin wasn't on here, but there was an article on the seniors. And this was a quote that Tim did. The article. It was on the seniors, and this is about Justin. And it was the main headline on the thing. Speaking of Justin, he's a guy who you say has a high ceiling.
There's that word.
Ceiling's the limit.
He's just scratching the surface of how good he can be. When he's 20 or 21 and fills out, I say, watch out. And that was accurate.
I mean, we talked about Justin all the time. I got us coaches. Like, he was really good for us his senior year. But, I mean, it was always wait till he's 21, 22, 23. He's going to fill out, and he's going to explode, and people are going to be like, where in the hell did this kid come from?
That's
but we always knew. We always knew what he was going to do when he went on.
Yeah,
So
as long as he stayed with it, you know what I mean, and went to school and stayed with it, there was no doubt good things were going to happen. Now, if you had told me then that he's going to get to the big leagues and throw 100 mile an hour, I don't know about that. I knew he had a chance to get drafted someday, and I knew he was going to throw 95. I didn't know.
I was going to say 100. We would have said 95.
Yeah, I knew he was going to throw 95. That's for sure.
Yeah. If they would have said 95, we would have said bet your house on it. If they would have said 100, be like, I'm not ready to proclaim that one.
Justin, when did you know that you could do that? When you could get to that level? When did it all kind of in your mind click and come together for you?
You talking about just draft purposes, or just kind of just
kind of, once you moved on to college and then you were made your way to Indiana State and then get drafted, like at what point did you know that did you feel like you could get drafted and put it all together like that?
I'd probably say when I got to college and I saw what good pitchers were. We had a good class my freshman year of college, and like I said, I was just good. I was around good people, and people gave me good advice. And I had the work ethic. The work ethic started at Defiance, and I took that to college, and I never stopped. It was kind of relentless, to tell you the truth. And I feel like I always had a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to prove something, and I just never really stopped. And obviously, I got the chance to play professional baseball. Got drafted my second year of junior college, and I kept that chip on my shoulder. So, and that's what you needed to do to survive in this game, to tell you the truth.
Very nice.
When did you know you were good, though? When did you know you were good? When did you really know you were good? There had to be a time you like, I think I'm pretty good.
I would say probably it would have been uh, I I would say when I got sent down, my would have been my second year of professional baseball. Um, and then I had a manager, Pat Murphy. You guys probably know him. It was my manager there, and he knew I was good, and he pushed me to be better. Um, and uh, like I said, after that point, I had a guy that believed in me, and that's what I really needed. When I got sent down, and he pushed me, and I kind of bursted on the scene. After that, I moved up levels and I got to Double A pretty quickly. I had a lot of success at the Double A level. Um, and then I ran into a few injuries here and there, but I came back and I survived, and um, I came back better from them, just because when you go through injuries, you find out a lot about your arm and a lot about your body, and mentally it's a draining too. I mean, and that's just part of it, and the professional side of it. You got to find a way to survive and kick back, um, but I would say that Double A level, and facing those prospects, and me getting them out. I ended up being a Double A All Star one of those years too. And you got to look at some of the All Stars that are on there. They're and those guys, now some of those guys have 10 years in the big leagues. But like I said, I've always had that chip on my shoulder. In my opinion, I always had that competitiveness. I needed to learn how to use it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good. Excellent.
All right, so you guys finish off another unbeaten Western Buckeye League slate to run the streak to 32 games with a 10-0 6-inning victory at home against St. Mary's on May 18th. Winning pitcher, Justin Hancock, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks. Can't read my notes. I really need to learn how to write better, but you had some strikeouts in there.
Hey guys, just a heads up too. My phone might die here pretty soon.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Christmas.
I've been on it all day. I'm sorry.
We'll speed this up. Scored 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Finish it with 1 in the sixth. Craig Gutman 3 for 3, 4 runs, double. Alex Knopfseger 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Dace Kime 1 for 3, 2 RBIs. How does it feel to be part of a class that kept that streak alive and moved it to 32, Justin?
No, I mean, it feels good. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all knew that it was possible. We all knew it was kind of maybe on the line just a little bit, but that was just kind of the Defiance mindset. Survive and win another day, basically. And I think that really started in the winter workouts and into the summer programs that you don't really see nowadays, in my opinion. Now you got travel baseball. That's a huge thing. And, I think that's one thing that Defiance did that, which is great. And you guys still do it, is the Acme program and just keeping those guys together. Because, at the end of the day, you need unity in a team. You need everybody to kind of believe in each other, and I think that's what Defiance really did really well for a lot of years, and everybody knew what everybody's strengths were too. So like I said, I think everybody brought a special trait to the table, and I think just the coaching staff did a good job. That's all I gotta say. From being a coach myself and having expectations for players, and that's what they did really good.
Shane, will you jump in here and maybe give a few thoughts about the streak and you're not thinking about that when it starts, but you're 32 games in after this year. What do you kind of think about what transpired?
Yeah, Tim, I've heard you ask that question before. Were you thinking about the streak? Did you talk about it? And I don't know that we ever did. I don't, it was never a focus. I don't even remember us coaches talking about it after games. It's just, the expectation that we're going to go out, we're going to work hard, and we're going to win. And I can tell you that there was never a day that I was afraid to go go to the ballpark and play someone. I mean, we had that confidence. You knew that everybody's going to come, they're going to work, they're going to do their job. And it's just not, I can never remember a time that we talked about that streak ever. It was just play the game, work hard. We'll come back and play the next game. It was one game at a time. And we just kept moving forward.
So, Tom, you were saying when we were talking beforehand that it started showing up in the articles about the streak. Now,
I didn't know until I started reading the articles right now.
well, I mean, if you think back about that, is that something that you guys even discussed, or did you think, hey, shut up, we don't need to know how many we've won in a row or anything like that?
I don't even remember the kids ever talking about it. I don't remember anybody talking about it. I seriously, I think like it didn't really matter if it was a league game, a non-conference game, a scrimmage, a tournament game, a three-way game. Like we just every day we wanted to play and win, like against each other, against a screen. Like every game was the same. I don't think we ever. Now maybe our personalities changed a little bit. They used to call me Tommy Tournament once in a while. In my early years, I get a little uptight. But I don't know.
We had to work on that.
Yeah, we had to try to play. Every game was the same. I don't know. Just go win. Like if you're going to play checkers, let's win. If we're going to play a cage game in the Nice Center or up in the stadium, a game, let's go win. Who's going to be the winner? We always celebrated winning. Like everything in our practices was competition. And we just celebrated winning. And whoever won got celebrated. Whoever lost ran.
Rick, you look like you want to jump in here. Go ahead.
No, that's 100% true. I think that was kind of what we did. We just showed up and worked. We didn't talk about what we'd done in the past. We didn't talk about any of that. We just worried about getting better that day. And like Coach Held said, everything was a competition. And no matter what it was, we during winter workouts, we celebrated records. If you broke a velo record, if you broke a push-up record, and during workouts, we cheered you on. When at practice, if you won, we celebrated, and we just worked, and that's what it was. And what this podcast has become is allowed us now to go back and look at what we accomplished. We never did that. We've never done that. We've never talked about any of that. We were just worried about getting better at practice and then our next game. That's all we ever worried about.
Well, that's a good reason to do this. So take
Yeah.
a few minutes and think about it. Yeah. All right, let's hop into the tournament here, and we'll get through this until we get to the district finals, so that Justin can hang on here. So you get in the sectionals, you guys beat Wasion 3-1. The 11th consecutive sectional crown. That game was at home. Dace got the win, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Mark Sebring, single double. Justin Hancock, single triple. So secured the sectional victory, and on to districts at Archbold. So in the semifinals, you guys beat the crap out of Wapak 14-1 in 5 innings.
I remember that. I think Gut led off the game with a homer. Wind was blowing straight out. I remember that. He had
a single, a double, and a 3-run shot.
Then he finished with
6 RBIs, and
Corbin hit a home run that game.
Let's see, Gutman. Alex had a single, double, triple. Mark Sebring 2 singles and 3 runs. Dace 4 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks. And I mean, that's a
I remember that.
That's a beatdown.
We played well that game. We played really well that game.
Yeah. All right, and then here's the district finals. Shawnee takes you guys out in the district finals that year 3-2. That was their second straight district title. Garrett Black's 2-out RBI single in the bottom of the 5th off a Dace proved to be the game winner. All 3 of Shawnee's runs came with 2 outs. Cody Koppelchek came in after a 109-pitch no-hitter against Bryan in the semis to close you guys out. Finished 24-4, and like Tom said, all 4 losses by 1 run. What do you guys remember this game? Because it seems like when we talk about this, you don't remember the wins, but you guys remember the losses.
Yeah, I remember this game. I remember, I think they scored one in the first. A misjudged fly ball because the wind was blowing out. I'm pretty sure late in the game we had second and third, maybe with 2 outs. I think it was Justin hit an absolute rocket that their left fielder made an unbelievable catch on. And I remember Coach Hull and I kept saying, we got to keep the lead. We got to keep the lead because if we go behind, they're bringing in Kopelchek. And they brought him in when they got the 2-out RBI. But yeah, I remember that game. That was a tough loss.
Same question for anybody else. Anybody else remember what happened in this one? Justin, Shane, or Tom? Now, Tom, I know you've got the article there, but I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember that we scored one in the first. They scored two in the bottom. We scored one in the top of the second, and then stayed 2-2 till they took the lead in the fifth, and then they brought Kopelchek in and beat us 3-2. Was that at Archbold?
I was at Archbold.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't really remember that game that well. I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Well,
I remember that. I remember that one.
That I know you guys always talk about remembering the losses, but
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the losses, they stick with you, especially great seasons with a great senior class, and when you go out, you tend to remember those.
all right, Justin, I've been waiting to ask this question because I know that you obviously not only pitched in the major leagues, but you pitched over in Japan. Well, let's hear one of your best stories during your time over there.
I would say my best story would probably be the plane ride over there with a 3-month-old baby screaming and crying. No, I was lucky enough to play over there. There's not many, Americans that, get the opportunity to kind of go over there and pitch. And, I was kind of a great opportunity for me and my family to get over there and experience that because they were really good to me, my wife and my baby that was at the time. And, the experience over there was just, it was just a joy to be over there. It's different. You know what I mean? There's 50,000 people screaming and at you every single day. You never knew what they were saying to you, but it was fun. You know what I mean? That every hitter had a chance. Every pitcher that came in had a chance. But I think just that memory in the back of my mind, I think that's the thing that's always going to stick at me, is me, running out of the bullpen there and pitching in leverage situations and getting saves over there. And but no, I had just a really, really, really positive time over there. And they were really friendly people to get to know and be around.
Did you learn any Japanese?
Oh, some. I mean, I thank you, good, bad, and all that stuff. I mean, I had a full-time translator when I was over there, so I didn't really need to, worry about that piece too much. But
So when you were on the mound,
did he gamble for you?
Stop.
Are you allowed to say that, Tombo?
No, he can't. Well, I was gonna ask you. So if you had a so if the pitching coach came out, you had a translator that came out. So kind of like we see here with the Japanese pitchers.
Yeah, yep.
That's
So,
crazy.
I had a full-time translator that was around me and my wife, at the time, and like I said, they took good care of us. So it was really really fun time, to tell you the truth. And like I said, I wish I could have went back, experienced it again for another year.
I've always heard a Japanese baseball game is like a college football game, like the energy and nonstop and that.
Oh, so really rowdy. So it's almost like I mean, it's comparable to Wrigley Field in my opinion. Just the party atmosphere that it kind of presents a little bit. So, but no, it was a really good time and had a really good like I said, time over there.
All right, so one more question for you. So, for anybody who's watching this, what can you tell people about where you're at right now and what you've been up to?
So I'm at the winter meetings, the MLB winter meetings, and so like I said earlier, I'm an agent advisor, and I kind of help young kids, high school kids, college kids through the process of hopefully being drafted, or just kind of advise them through the process. And but no, I'm here with Josh Nip and the rest of the crew here. Obviously, you guys probably maybe know Josh Nip. He was a Defiance grad way back when, and he probably says that he's probably the best Defiance bunter ever.
That's because we wouldn't let him swing. 2 outs, nobody on. Josh, you're gonna have to bunt here, buddy.
He can slap it to left field with the best of them.
He thought he could hit off me, and I think there was one off season where he got in the cage, and I think he did. I think I wasn't throwing my hardest, but I was just kind of stepping the box, Nip, and he did, and I think he did get like a little.
I remember that.
He got a piece of it, but I think the next pitch I hit him.
He did it once at
On
our
purpose.
field with you.
Yes, he did it at our field. Yes, I remember that vividly. And he did put the ball in play.
He did.
He did.
He did. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do NIL deals? Are you in the NIL business yet or not?
Yeah, I mean that's just part of the process now. I mean, yeah, we help out with that too. So it's getting more common to kind of help with the process with the NIL stuff, and but no, that's going to be the norm. So you got to kind of have to adjust to the times.
Very nice.
Coaches too. Have you got me an NIL deal down there yet, Justin?
No, not yet. Still working on it.
Let's go. Why do I pay you the big bucks as my agent? You never come through.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. I still love you. I'll never fire you.
All right, guys, we're gonna give you some parting shots here. Shane, let's start with you. When you think back about your time coaching at Defiance, and not just 2009, but what sticks out in your mind?
Oh goodness, a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of great players, great experience. Like I said earlier, is just the relationships that I was able to build over that time period. Excuse me, really appreciated that. But no, it was every day. I loved coming to the ballpark every day. It truly was, and this is not about the summer gig, but coaching really all year long between the things that I was doing at the time. It was just like 24/7. I couldn't get enough of it. And Defiance was just a great place to be. Loved every minute of it.
So a lot of people don't know or maybe don't remember this, but you were the head baseball coach at Wayne Trace and left that gig to come to Defiance. That's right, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I started there in '98, I believe it was. I was there 4 years. Got to know Rick and Tom through, I think, River Bandit Academy and the Fall League and what have you, and got to know them. And yeah, next thing you know, Tom and I and Rick, I don't even, maybe we were at River Bandit Academy. I don't really recall anymore, but asked about coming to Defiance, and it was a no-brainer. I love my time at Wayne Trace. I love those kids, still getting to talk to some of them, but it was a great move and loved every minute of it.
And those guys split their salaries with you, right?
No, but I've never done it for that. They took care of me. It was a great time. Absolutely. Yep.
We had a good blast. So also, how many years did you coach River Bandit, Sugar?
It was about the same time, probably. I started there in 2001, and I think I wrapped up at the end of the 15 season. But I was still doing that roster and paperwork and all that up until last year. So yeah, been around there for a long time.
Yes.
He was like Billy Martin with the River Bandits, fired 7 times and rehired. And
I think just officially once, Rick.
Tom, Rick, anything that you want to say about this '09 season before we say our farewells?
A couple of things that Justin talked about, which I think some other kids have talked about, and I think there's three things. And I think there's 3 major components that I tell everyone I think is what really has been the core of Defiance baseball. And I think the one is the winter workouts he talked on. I think our kids put in a tremendous amount of time and worked their butts off. I think our summer program, being able to play 30 games in the summer with next year's team. And then the third component I always say is we have former players that come back and coach. And Justin talked on 2 of those with that, and I think his phone just died.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I really believe, and now we're like 3 or 4, episodes in, and each kind of class has mentioned it in some regard of the winter workouts, Acme. And And what's really kind of neat is I've kind of talked about this podcast to our current team right now during winter workouts, and a lot of them have started watching the podcast, and there's guys they didn't know about, which was really cool. They'll start asking me questions like last week they were asking me about Adam Wagner, like who's the Snoop kid, and they start asking me
Yeah.
asking questions about the history of Defiance, which I think is really cool. Where our kids, I think sometimes we take for granted they know everything that this program has accomplished, and they don't. So I think it's been really cool on that end. And then to kind of piggyback that with that, walking around in class today, one of our players, Diego Tavares, he's watching our 2013 state championship game. And he's like, I've been listening to podcasts. Now I wanted to start watching some games. So I think that is as neat as anything.
Tom, anything you wanna add about that, or add on?
Well, I
to
mean,
it?
I think he hits it on the nose. Everything he said is accurate, and just as a group of 4 seniors, and each team has revolved around the seniors, and Stephen and Craig and Mark and Justin, and did a heck of a job. And 24-4, got the district finals. They had some great seasons, and just brought a lot of joy to our lives. And I know us 3 spent a lot of time together, and I know Sugar spent a lot of nights in my house on Friday nights when we had Saturday games. He'd spend the night there, and we had a blast. And so it's always about relationships, and the kids. We got to celebrate all the fun things with those guys.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say about was Sugar. For the first few years it was just Tom and I, and then Sugar joins us, and it was the 3 of us for 10 years, 11 years,
Coach V
and Coach V. And really, I don't think people understand really how good of friends you become as coaches. I mean, we did everything together, and then Sugar left us, and Tom and I were like kind of beside ourselves, like, what the hell are we going to do now? I mean, we actually had to start talking to each other again, and that was really the worst part of Sugar leaving us.
It was weird.
So
It was definitely weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
Was it before state in 13, Rick, where I met you and Sugar in your room for an article? Or was it a milestone? Or, yeah.
No, I think it was before that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember the 3 of us, I think we were in there because it was, I don't know how, I mean, it seemed like we were in there for maybe 2 hours. Just, the interview maybe lasted like a half an hour, and then we were just telling stories like we're doing now. But
no, yeah. And we used to do that all the time. We'd sit at the old field and sit in the dugout. And I mean, it's probably a good thing we didn't have the knee center back then with the coach's office and warmth, because we may have never went home. 3 of us would have just sat in there and yapped all night.
that some good times for sure.
Yeah.
Special days. We were all together. Really, that tenure was the longest tenure of 3 of coaches being together. And Coach V was there most of that time as well, until I think Gabe or Nick graduated. So we went to every clinic together. We learned together. We discussed what we're going to do at practice together. It was a team. It was a team game. Everybody had their thing. Sugar was a catchers, Rick was the hitters and outfielders, and I did the pitchers and infield, and everybody. And he was the sports psychologist of the team. He loved them all. He loved them all up, and they always went to V for everything. And he was just bounced around everything, but it was a special time.
Without a doubt.
Well, before we get out of here, I want to remind everyone, if you're watching, please subscribe, please please leave us some comments. I mean, Rick, we do a great job leaving comments, but
no one jumps on it. I keep leading them and waiting.
Yes,
Rob Held gives some comments, but
yes.
he hasn't given us a question yet. I'm waiting
No.
for some of these guys. We got a lot of listeners, and it's funny because I'll get the questions. They'll text me them. Chris Oberlin texted me last week and wanted to know who JR was. Who's JR? You keep talking. And I said, Justin Riley. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot Justin. That's exactly who JR is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting for that first question on the YouTube.
Yeah. So let's shout out Rob. Keep it coming. We appreciate it. So
yeah, well, Rob continues to say he wants more fighting out of Tom and I.
Yeah, I think he
We got
He's all about
along
it.
way too well on this episode. People aren't going to like that.
Especially Rob.
That's because we can't remember anything to argue about. We don't remember anything.
Oh, it's the holiday season. We're pretending like we
Oh,
like
look,
each
yeah,
other.
look at you guys. All right. Well, let's wrap it up, guys. That's it for episode 4 of The Streak. We'll be back next week with a new senior class, a big senior class, and nine more wins. And we'll talk about a long tournament run next week as well. So until then, we'll see you guys then.